Podcast, and it is report card season. So we're starting with the goal plan standings. So on the last report card we did Vancouver. So next up is going to be Seattle, who of course end up being in the basement. Oh, the end up it's the Seattle Torrent. Oh, guys. Oh. Torrent fans, maybe skip the next 30 seconds. We're about to read your record out. Skip the next 30 seconds. Oh, it's so painful. Oh, okay. Right, over their 30 games, the Torrent had a record of 8-1-5-16. That's 8 regulation wins, 1 OT win, 5 OT losses, 16 regulation losses, the most in the league. Oh, that's a total of 31 points. And get this right, they scored 64 goals, but conceded. Hold on. And conceded. Oh God, 92. Is that the most? I think that, yeah. Oh my. Oh, can we just start there? Oh, 92! I'll take it, because I did praise Hannah Murphy. You did! You did praise her! 92. Oh my God. Does this just show that Steve O'Rourke had no clue what he was doing? Yes! He had no clue! He never coached women's hockey before! And he probably never will again. Now he's been made to walk the plank. Right, I'll take the netmining on. So, it was always going to be tricky for Seattle, because I don't think they ever really had like an ideal starter compared to their expansion sisters in Vancouver. So, they got Corinne Schroeder in its exclusive window. They then drafted Hannah Murphy. So, you kind of felt like Hannah Murphy could be an upcoming star, maybe a backup to Corinne Schroeder, and yet, in that first half of the season, she got a fair amount of starts. And she was doing quite well. You even had her as your potential pick for Rookie of the Year. Like how I had Gilday in Ottawa, you had Hannah Murphy. Okay, she was really impressed with her start. Second half of the season, not so much, because it then got derailed. She then fell off the tracks. But those first few games, I thought she did really, really well. She gave her team the chance to win the games, which is what you want your netminders to do, especially in a tough, tight situation like that. But, wow, I mean, 92. Well, let's face it, Corinne Schroeder has never really, I mean, I know people that say she's a really good netminder, but she hasn't really had that opportunity to flourish. And that's the only reservation I've got with PWHL's RSA going to next year is, do you really trust Corinne Schroeder to be your starting netminder? We'll see. Who knows? Maybe the Bay Area is the ticket that she needs to finally show us what she's capable of. But it did not work in New York. That's for sure. It did not work in New York. Yeah. So how do you think Harrow's going to do next year? Because obviously she's now going to be, because obviously Schroeder got taken by Zaze. That means Hannah Murphy is now basically going to be the starter for Seattle next year, full time. I think she's going to cut there. Oh, that says it all. I think she needs more time. I think she needs a bit more time before we make her a star netminder. She could be a Reagan Kirk, but I just don't know. But netminder's got to improve. You cannot. If you want to make the playoffs, you cannot be conceding nearly 100 goals. That is just bad. That he's so bad. I mean, Seattle's basically conceded the same amount of goals that we probably scored this season. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that is just wow. That's bad. Yeah, they scored one more goal than Vancouver because Vancouver got 63, so that's one more. But yeah, I just. The one good thing Seattle had, and I have to say it, the one good thing Seattle had was their fan base. Honestly, Client Pledge Arena, you showed out, and you showed out in your droves this past season. You know, literally, there was only like 1 or 2 home fixtures that did not get 10,000 people. I mean, just remember the opener? Black Friday. We were there. Minnesota was the opener. Our team was there. Okay, and yet they got a new US record. Was just incredible. And then obviously that first game back from Olympics. Oh my god! Oh my god! They didn't just sell every single seat. They also had standing room only. Oh my god! How Client Pledge Arena did not burst at the seams with that many people in. That just was insane. I mean, if it was only Knockout 16, we think, oh yeah, great, well done, guys. But for Seattle, it was just basically like an average Tuesday. Yeah, it's just like, it's just average Tuesday for us here in the Pacific Coast. You know, it's just insane. And they do know that they've got to keep that up now. Oh yeah, you can't let that go. You've got to keep that up year in, year out. It's just oh my god, it's just insane. You know, so you've got to make sure that Torrent can stay in Client Pledge Arena full stop. Because of the NBA coming back. Yeah. Well, look at Detroit. Fair dues. Yeah, fair dues. Yeah. But I still have that worry though. Yeah. That's yeah. Okay. Fair dues. But yeah, honestly, I have to give it to them. You know, Seattle, I think you gave us this season the most dedicated fan base in the whole league to literally show up night in, night out, getting literally 10,000 people in on a regular basis. Incredible. The Kraken haven't done that. And they've been around for about 5 years now, and they've not done that. They've not been getting that on a regular basis, night in, night out. I don't think they've had every single seat sold yet. So, well done to you guys. So you can see that the passion for hockey and in Seattle, but also women's sports in Seattle, is just at an all-time high. People have said that Seattle was the capital for women's sports, and it absolutely is. Yeah. Well, it was the first city to have women's soccer, women's basketball, and women's hockey all in one city, or in one city. So as they might think we're the you're the second. Probably not, because the Valkyries, I believe, play in San Francisco. So technically not. Yeah, but the region, yes, but not the cities up now. Yeah. So I felt the Torrent had really good promises. Again, like Vancouver, started the season great at home. Yeah. I mean, that homestand they had. I mean, to have a homestand to kick off your season, yeah. And they did so well against it. They got wins over Ottawa and Montreal. Yeah. They got wins over Ottawa and Montreal. That was just incredible. And it just showed, okay, maybe we should have given Seattle a better look in. Because I can remember during the off-season, right, literally, all us three focused on was Vancouver. And for Seattle, it was basically just try to get a look in where they could. Yeah. It was pretty much like, you know, look at me! Please! Well, Vancouver literally were just doing everything right, and Seattle, we were just like thinking, oh, okay, you're trying to build the foundations for a potential successful roster one day. Yeah. Even though you had that 4-on win now mentality, because obviously you did manage to poach from Boston the great Hillary Knight. Oh, I'm just not going to forget that moment. I'm not going to forget the day when, you know, Oh god. I know it's to make you think about it, isn't it? Oh god. Oh god. I know. I'm not gonna forget that day when. Come on. Oh my god. It's funny. I think about with flashbacks. I'm not gonna forget that day because, well, of course not, 'cause it was on camera when we did the protection list. I know, right? It was just when we all saw here that was not protected. We just all knew what was going on. You don't leave a player like that exposed and not expect her to get taken. I know. What were Boston thinking? We all knew it. Lady did a gag. Please don't do it again. Oh wow, it's not fun anymore. Oh, thank God, the penny's now dropped. But yeah, plenty of times you can't remind us of that little gag you did when Harry did get taken by Seattle. But did she really literally steal the show? Because I don't think she did. I don't think she did. Because Seattle got a lot of star power. They got obviously Knight and Bilker from Boston. And then Carpenter from New York. Those are three players right there who I'm expecting to lit the lamp on a regular basis. Now, obviously, both Bilker and Knight did suffer injuries, which meant they could go to the Oscars. I know, right? They went to the Oscars. I know, right? What a story that was, eh? But yeah, but Alex Carpenter, clearly she showed a lot of promise, otherwise they wouldn't have kept her over Knight. Because I remember going into this year's expansion pass, I kind of felt it's going to be an either or. As much as you'd like to keep both Knight and Carpenter, you can only keep one, and they chose Carpenter. And yeah, so we'll see if that's the right one or not. But I just kind of felt, well, actually, just brought injuries there. Injuries really plagued Seattle. Because obviously, Bilk got injured, which took her out for the rest of the season. Knight got injured, which kept her at base, I think, like the last 2 games of the season. Last week of the season. And Michaela Grant-Mentis, who also should have been a huge firepower for them, she also suffered a massive injury. Those three right there provided the majority of Seattle's firepower. Yeah. Also, they made a stupid trade. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yes, because while we were in the States, Seattle traded out Jesse Aldridge to Boston. And, of course, that proved to be Boston being the big winners. Because what a difference she made. Sadly, Boston couldn't find a way to keep Harbour, as I kind of thought was going to happen, but just not the way I thought it was going to happen. No, because you said, well, expansion teams would take her, and it wasn't the case, it was in free agency. Well, I still said she was going to leave Boston, so I was half right there. Just I got the scenario mixed wrong. Yeah, I thought Aldridge also made a huge contribution to Seattle's firepower, and they really felt that when she went to Boston in that trade. Yeah. So Seattle, you were the big losers there. Yeah, big losers there. But it's your first year. You can have one bad trade. You can have one bad trade. It was your first year. Next year, get them right. Because if I was Seattle's position, I would not be trading firepower like that away. No. Speaking of expansion, why on earth was Seattle so targeted so bad, ferociously? I know, right? Because how many did it? It was about 6. Yeah, 6. Yeah, and it's like, what is? I know. Every time I read it was a Seattle player gone, you were just like, what the hell? You're like, what the fuck? Really? Well, it's basically like kicking a man while he's down. Yep. It's like, you know, it was basically the expansion process turned Seattle. It's basically like a wounded puppy. Where is he going with this? That just kept being cooked. Where is he going with this anatomy? It's just like, really? Because if you're an expansion team, and I know you've said it plenty of times, George, if you're an expansion team, would you really target the team that came last in the standings and didn't even get able to show for it? No, I would have gone for Ottawa and Montreal because those were the 2 teams that made it to the World Cup bars in 2026. That's who I would have targeted. Like I said last year, if I was in Bad Seahawks last year, I would have gone for Ottawa and Minnesota because those are the 2 teams that made the bars in 2025. That's what I would have done. It even had me thinking, what's the strategy here? Why are we gouging our expansion team who literally were in that position this time last year? Why are we gouging them when there's bigger fish to fry on the upper tees, particularly in the inaugural 6? Why are you not going there? It just, but they did manage to keep hold of Sadakny, which I know you felt was a big snub of Team Canada. Oh yeah. Diana Sadakny should have been on Team Canada's roster. I'm just saying, she really had a good season this year. I felt definitely was a lot better than last year. So I'm really glad they covered that. And they did almost manage to keep on Jay Goss as well. They did, which we all thought, oh, was it going to be the case? Was it not going to be the case? Yeah, but no, they did manage to in the end keep hold of her. Yeah. And unfortunately it was Montreal that lost their Gosling. We'll come back to that later on. We did wonder was there going to be another switch for Gosling, and it was the case. So, but that's going to be good for Seattle to keep hold of her, especially when you need to look for those players who are going to need to make that step up. With obviously, both Bilka and Knight gone, you need to find ways to make those big step ups. I think they'll be fine. Yeah. Yeah. How do you think Seattle did in terms of performance? Because I felt their special teams was a huge. Yeah, they did very well. I felt that penalty kill for Seattle was really good. Yeah. I mean, they managed to find, particularly when they were up against the heavyweights like say Oz and Montreal. They found a really good way to shut those power play units, particularly Oz as well. They managed to find ways to shut those power play units down. Yeah. Even Tio, who of course last year was red hot on the power play. Yeah. So I felt Seattle, their penalty kill was for their strongest, dare I say, the strongest in the league. Because they managed to find ways to shut down these big power play units, and they were just brilliant. I just think the power play though maybe needs work, which they can obviously do in the off season. Yeah. But yeah, and unlike Vancouver, they did actually have their fair share of shootouts. Yeah. In fact, their first road win wasn't a true road win, but their first road win was that shit in Hamilton. That was a great game, wasn't it? That was just such a great game. And I felt with Seattle, what I felt was really interesting was how they managed to build rivalries with the other local 6 teams, whereas Vancouver just really had Seattle. Seattle managed to find ways to get rivalries. That's what I mean. New York. Oh my god. I think we go back to the start of the season, right? We go back to the start of the season. If you were to say to me who out of the local 6 could be Seattle's biggest rivals, I would have said New York. But those first 2 meetings alone, oh my god. Oh my god, so there's like a cinema reel. Oh my god. Were they incredible? Were they insane to watch? Just incredible. So I kind of felt Seattle and New York, they've got a good rival form in there. That was just incredible. So yeah, so it's a shame that the Torrent didn't get to go to New York's prior venue this season, but I'm sure they will get to do that next year, because both meetings in New York were neutral site games. Takeover Tour in Dallas, and obviously the MSG game back in Easter Saturday. Didn't we have a busy Easter? Yeah, because obviously Good Friday was CTC for R and Montreal. Then next day was MSG. And we could sell tickets of bells. Yep. Yes, the other day, yes. That heart attack against Vancouver. Yeah. But I think that's good that Seattle's managed to find ways to develop those rivalries, because in a league this competitive, this ultra competitive, you do have to ask yourself who is your big time rival. So the fact Seattle has managed to develop other rivalries, because we all knew that they and Vancouver would be rivals from the get go. Yeah. So the fact that they managed to get rivalries elsewhere is also good. It just makes it exciting for when you see those particular teams in the season. Yeah, absolutely. Now, what I felt was interesting about Seattle was how, yes, like Vancouver, they did make mistakes throughout the season. But I felt with Seattle's, and I'm going to keep saying this until the cows come home. I'm going to keep saying it. I felt Seattle's weren't as obvious to see compared to Vancouver's. And this is coming from the man who's got bad eyes. Yep. I just felt, they made a few mistakes near and there, but I felt they weren't too blatantly obvious that everyone could see compared to Vancouver's. Now, and for a lot of times, okay, while Seattle had the lowest combined wins in the league, full stop, they did show signs of fight. Now, unlike Vancouver, a lot of their losses, Seattle did show some fight, especially where it got close to elimination time. Where it got to those scenarios where, okay, Seattle needs this didn't happen to stay alive, otherwise that's it, you're out. I mean, that Ottawa game. Oh god, the big fat charge, the big fat charge lesbian wedding. That was a thriller. Yeah, because obviously, that was back and forth, but that very nearly did go to OT, which of course would have seen Seattle off. But the fact they managed in the late in the game to get that go-ahead goal, I was like, oh wow, okay. I mean, now for us, you think, why Seattle? You know there's no chance you get the playoffs. It's realistically, it's not doable. Just fall over and die. Start earning draft order points. But no, they still fought on, and they held on for as long as they could. They held on for as long as they could, but oh god. Because I just feel like when it comes to that time of year where you get to where you're in that position, you've got the scenario, I would say just let it happen. Just let it happen. Because in this league, there are prizes for not making the playoffs. In this league, there are prizes for not making the playoffs. The gold plan! The gold plan! Okay? So if I was a Torrent fan, I would be thinking, no, there's no bother trying to play the playoffs anymore. We can't do it. Start going for the draft order points. You know? And I have to say that comeback back with the goal I had in Seattle, that's what killed them. Oh yeah, because I think that game was Seattle's first chance to get draft order points, and they looked like they were going to do it. They were going to get those 3 points. That would give them a huge edge over Vancouver. Vancouver was going to be eliminated on that game regardless. But oh my god, the god eyes. Oh, ho, ho! That was a thrill. Oh, ho, ho! And I think you're right, boy. That basically did it. Because while Vancouver did then get eliminated in that game, they basically stopped Seattle from getting the full 3 points that would have gone to the draft order, which then gave Vancouver the chance to come back in and maybe make it a thrilling race, which they did. But oh my god, yeah. And we did say at the time, we did say, would that have a huge impact on the goal plan racings? Sorry, the goal plan standings. And in the races, the goal plan, it did. Oh, it did. So really, Seattle, you've only got yourselves to blame for not getting KK. Isn't that right, boy? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they have got a good first round pick in Abby Murphy. But you could have got KK. You could have got KK. Try not to look that into them too much when we see them next season for the first time, my boy. Try not to look into them too much. Because they'll go, so we got Abby Murphy. I was so surprised she went second. I thought I had the first 2 pegged. I genuinely thought that Evans would have gone second overall. Because I would have done that. If I was I would have done that. But anyway. Anywho. So, I mean, for Seattle, going forward, the only way should be up. But I kind of feel like Seattle's nowhere near ready. If you get what I mean. Yeah, I kind of feel for Seattle it's going to take a long time. I think Seattle's nowhere near in a position ready to say, yes, we are going to be competitive. We're going to be a cup contender. No, it's a long way off. Especially if they had to basically make Steve O'Rourke walk the plank. Well, I think I would have happy with shutting him off. Oh, I absolutely would have fed him to Sharky. Absolutely. Dreadful. Absolute dreadful. I don't know what convinced Megan her to hire him in the first place, but dreadful. And she basically is a place where went for the easy option of just promoting the assistants. Now we'll see how that goes, but at least it's a woman. Oh, don't start now. Don't start now. This is report cards, not question time. Don't start that now. But yeah, you do think with Seattle, this is going to be a slow burn. It's going to be a work in progress. Now they could surprise us, as we all know this league is full of surprises. Yep. It's probably the only time where I like surprises, yeah. Don't ever surprise George, because basically you'll just go, right there, what the fuck were you thinking? I don't like surprises. I do not like surprises. Because chances are, it'll be something I hate, and I have to pretend to be thankful, where I actually am not fucking thankful. I'm thinking, where did you keep the receipt? You're taking that back. You're giving me the cash I could pay to dollars for our next trip to the PWHL. So don't do surprises around me, because I will hate them. But this league, you can surprise all you like. That's fine. But everyone else, no. So they could surprise us, but I just think you could do a New York and be one above the bottom. But I just, I mean, it all depends on what happens with expansion teams, how they fare, and how other teams like York continue to do. And does it always take massive steps back? Yeah. Yeah, but I think Seattle is a work in progress. It's going to take a very, very long time to get where they want to go as a team, as an organization. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Who knows? They could surprise us. They could surprise us. But I think, yeah, I agree. It's going to take a while. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we kind of saw what they tried to do in this season, where they got Harry Knight and be like that win now entirety, but it just didn't work. It just didn't work. And she's gone to Detroit. Who would have seen that coming? Who would have thought that for 2 expansions in a row, Harry Knight would go on the move? Well, definitely not ours, because we thought she was going to move in the first expansion. But yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, but honestly, for Torrent fans, it has been hard because you didn't really get that many wins. You got about 9 combined, 8 in regulation. So they need to practice better in overtimes and shootouts, because that's really what's letting them down. Yeah, it's just try to get those points. Yeah. Because as much as you want to get the regulation, you also need to at times find something nice to get in, to at least get something out of it, and they didn't really do that well at all. So it was just really tough for them. Really tough for them in the whole season. The fact that they just about managed to crack the 30-point win, because I remember when it got towards the tail end, and we were all thinking, is this even going to get to 30 points? Because all the others had, in Vancouver. So it's like, why? Is this thing not going to make the 30-point mark? And they narrowly just did. Narrowly just did. So there's a lot this he's going to need to work on next season. Can he do it? Who knows? We'll see. There might be small improvements, but I don't think a lot to then take to that next step where they want to be. Okay. So that is going to conclude this report card for Seattle. Thank you for joining us next time. Take care. Don't forget to pull the breeze.